Hello everybody, and I love movies. Here for something new. Hawkhearts Journey, Warrior Book, Super Edition. I'm gonna read it. Hawkhearts Journey, Super Edition by the Erin Hunters. Prologue. Sunlight poured into the gorge, bathing the sand-colored rocks in a warm glow. On either side the walls plunged down sharply until they reached a narrow valley at their foot. In the depths the water cascaded from a black hole beneath the pile of boulders, and then became a stream that wound its way through the gorge until it was lost to sight among the bushes and trees. A gentle breeze carried the enhancing sense of prey. A powerful Tom, his pale gray fur patched with white, sat on top of the pile of boulders, gazing downstream. A frosty glimmer of starlight clung to his pelt, and the stars shone in his blue eyes. After a while, the stillness of the gorge was broken as a brown tabby emerged from a den near the foot of the cliff and padded purposefully over to the rocks, scrambling up until he could stand beside the gray and white Tom. "Hawkhearts," the gray and white Tom meowed. Have you thought any more about this vision?" "I have, Cloudstar," Hawkheart replied, dipping his head, "and I have no idea—" He broke off as a third cat appeared at the top of the gorge and came bounding down the trail to join the other two on the top of the boulders. Stars flowed like water through his gray pelt and gave an icy glitter to his claws. Cloudstar rose to his paws. He and Brackenheart bowed their heads in a profound respect. "Greetings, Cloudstar." "Greetings, Skystar," Cloudstar meowed. Skystar returned his greeting with a brisk nod. "Well," he asked, "have you come to a decision?" Brackenheart shook his head while Cloudstar looked troubled, replying, "No, we have seen is too terrible. There will be no easy answers." "But an answer must be found." Skystar stood up straighter and gave an impatient lash of his tail. "All three of us have seen the scourge that looms over SkyClan, a danger more dreadful than the heaviest, darkest storm cloud. It could black out the sky and put an end to the clan I founded forever. I could not bear that." "SkyClan will never end!" Cloudstar's blue eyes glittered fiercely. "We have suffered greater losses before, only to rise and thrive again. When we were driven out of the forest so many seasons ago, we found a home in this gorge, and even when the rats destroyed and scattered most of the clan, a few cats kept that memory until Firestar came to restore what had been lost." "But Firestar is dead," Brackenheart meowed somberly. "And his Star Clan is far from here. He can do nothing for SkyClan now." Skystar looked thoughtfully. "Then we must speak to SkyClan directly," he insisted. "They must be warned." "True, Skystar," Brackenheart responded. "But what kind of warning shall we give? What can we tell them to do?" "We must tell them to fight," Cloudstar meowed defensively. "They are strong, brave cats, deeply committed to one another as a clan. They will win if they believe they can." Brackenheart let out a sigh. "But not even Firestar himself could fight this scourge. This battle is unwinnable." "Precisely. The time has come for SkyClan to leave their comfort territory," Skystar declared. "What?" Cloudstar's eyes stretched wide with outrage. "After so many cats struggled to keep it alive, after so many cats died for it, you want them to just leave without putting up a fight?" "Everything comes to an end sooner or later. SkyClan has been on its own island for far too long." Skystar leaned forward, his brilliant blue eyes fixed intently on the other cats. "When I founded SkyClan, it was one of the 5 petals of the blazing star, and all of the clans thrived because they worked together. SkyClan must take a lesson from its history." Cloudstar gave the ancient leader a puzzled look. "Then you're saying that SkyClan is meant to leave the gorge?" "That's exactly what I'm saying. Leaving the gorge will only be the first step on a much longer journey." "No!" Cloudstar's neck fur began to bristle. My clan and I had struggled to make our home here among the rocks. Firestar risked his life and reunited us after we'd driven out the first time. And now you suggest throwing that all away? Have you got bees in your brain? They must fight! Brackenhard nodded in vigorous agreement. I was SkyClan's last medicine cap before the rats drove us out of the gorge. After all we went through, how can you expect me to come and stand by and watch as my clan is driven out a second time? Skystar listened impassively to Cloudstar's heated outburst and Brackenheart's desperate protest. His voice was quiet and steady as he replied, No. Every cat knows what our clan has suffered, and there is a time for our claws to grip hard to what we own, and a time to let go. The threat SkyClan faces is just the beginning. Only by joining with the other clans can I clear the sky. Brackenheart drew in a wondering breath. All 5 clans together again. Then he gave his pelt a shake. But how can this be? Where will SkyClan live if they rejoin the other clans? There's only so much territory. How do we know that the other clans will accept them peacefully? How do we know that the cats of SkyClan will want to join the others? They have only known Firestar, and he's in his own star clan now. And Sandstorm. Cloudstar reminded him. Yes, and she's a brave cat, but her path is dark to me. It is to Firestar's kin that SkyClan must look now, for when the fire dies down, there are still sparks that remain. You are right that SkyClan's path will be long and difficult. That's where they must start now, staring into the distance. They must find those sparks, or their future is terrible indeed. Chapter 1. Hawkpaw let out a drowsy purr, enjoying the sensation of warm sunlight on his pelt. He lay curled up at the base of his rock, his grey tail wrapped over his paws. His whiskers twitched as he sank deeper into sleep, imagining himself stalking prey among the bushes at the top of the gorge. Hawkpaw startled awake as a bundle of ginger fur landed on top of him and paws prodded him sharply in the ribs. He breathed in the familiar scent of his little mate, Duskpaw. Get off of me! Hawkpaw yowled, pushing Duskpaw away as he sat up and shook out his ruffled fur. What's gotten into you? I was enjoying my nap. Well, it's time to wake up, lazy bones, Duskpaw meowed. Cloudpaw and Pebblepaw and I have come up with the best plan ever. Still half asleep, Hawkpaw narrowed his eyes in annoyance. What is this time? Duskpaw's always bugging me with some amazing plan, as usual. It's, hey, we're going to steal some two-leg food. Since he was a kid, Duskpaw had loved the taste of two-leg prey, and he was often willing to do some very silly things to get it. Honestly, Hawkpaw thought, twitching his whiskers, I think he must have bees in his brain. Okay, then, Hawkpaw murmured, then stretching his jaws into a massive yawn. What is this great plan? Pebblepaw saw some two-legs carrying woven twigs to the two-leg green place. Duskpaw meowed, bouncing up and down on his paws. And you know what that means, right? Hawkpaw gave a worried sigh. I saw this coming. Two-leg food. At the same moment, Duskpaw let in an excited squeal. Two-leg food! It's been a while since Pebblepaw saw them, he continued. They must be gone long, but their leftovers will still be there. I think you're going to turn into a two-leg if you're not careful, Hawkpaw teased, grinning. Your fur will get thin, especially on the top of your head, except on the top of your head, it'll be all puffed up and messy, and you'll start walking on your hind legs and running about in monsters. Don't be a stupid furball, Duskpaw protested. Like that would ever happen. You're so crazy about their food, it's not even that exciting. Besides, how do you plan on getting without Wasp Whisker finding out? Not to mention Billy Storm and Plump Willow. They won't like their apprentices sneaking off without permission. Ebonaclaw would rip my pelt off if I was idiotic enough to join you. They won't find out, Duskpaw meowed with a dismissive wave of his tail. All the warriors have stuffed themselves with fresh kill. Now they're snoozing at the bottom of the rock pile, just like you were a moment ago. We're going straight up there and we'll be right back, before our mentors even wake up to miss us. Hawkpaw noticed that his sister Cloudpaw and the speckled white she-cat Pebblepaw were standing a few tail lengths away, just out of earshot. Pebblepaw was scrapping impatiently at the ground, clearly tired of waiting for Duskpaw. Get a move on, she spat. Let Hawkpaw stay here if he's too much of a scaredy mouse. Hawkpaw growled deep his throat at the insult. Like I'd go if she's going. Look, I know you don't like her, Duskpaw meowed, lowering his voice and casting a quick glance between Hawkpaw and Pebblepaw, but you should get to know her better. You know, the two of you are a lot alike. You're both as difficult as a fox in a fit. So are you coming or not? Hawkpaw let out an irritated hiss as the thought that he was anything like Pebblepaw. She had to be the most annoying cat in the whole clan. She struts around like she's so great when she's just like an apprentice like the rest of us. No thanks. Just leave me alone, okay? Keep your fur on, Duskpaw protested. Your temper will get you in trouble one day. That made Hawkpaw even more angry, being scolded by the brother who spent too much of his time messing around. No, you're the one who'll get in trouble for sneaking out to steal two-leg food. Duskpaw shrugged, his eyes sparkling with mischief. It's worth it. Two-leg food is delicious, but you can steal yourself. We're going. Fine, he huffed. Have fun. And good luck explaining when you get back. Hawkpaw let his annoyance ebb as he watched his brother scuttle off with Pebblepaw and Cloudpaw. He yawned reflectively, thankfully that at least his own sister, Blossompaw, had the good sense not to get involved. Curling up again, he wrapped his tail over his nose and closed his eyes. Maybe now I can finish my nap in peace. Sometime later, a stiff breeze rustled the branches of the trees at the top of the gorge as Hawkpaw followed the paw steps of his mentor, Ebonyclaw, through the undergrowth along the SkyClan border. The sun was dipping below the topmost branches. Hawkpaw fluffed out a spell against the sudden chill. Ebonyclaw's lethal black figure halted as he glanced over, and she glanced at Hawkpaw over her shoulder. Wait here while I renew the scent marker, she instructed him. Hawkpaw did as he was told, his ears pricked for the sound of prey. He wondered what happened to Duskpaw and the others. They hadn't returned from an expedition by the time he and Ebonyclaw had left camp. Probably they were so excited for the food that they lost track of time. Mouse brains. A secret thrill crept through Hawkpaw as he thought of Duskpaw getting in trouble. He's always fooling around and bending the rules. I love him, but he needs to get serious if he wants to be a warrior. It didn't seem at all fair to Hawkpaw that he was always working hard as possibly as could, but Duskpaw kept getting away with his stupid behavior. Maybe if he has to deal with the Elder's ticks for a few days, he decided to make an effort. When Ebonyclaw returned from setting the scent marker, she was sniffing the air, a suspicious expression on her face. Can you smell that? She asked. Hawkpaw opened his chest to taste the air. An unfamiliar scent flowed into his mouth. Great StarClan! What is that? I don't know. Hawkpaw blinked in surprise. I thought Ebonyclaw knew everything, even if she just is a daylight warrior. Do you think there's some kind of new animal near the gorge? He asked, trying not to let his voice quiver with the sudden apprehension he felt. There could be. I've picked up this scent once or twice before, near the place where my two legs put their rubbish. But this is the first time I've caught it on our territory. What are we going to do? Ebonyclaw's ears twitched. Nothing for now. You can't fight a scent, but we'll report it to Leafstar, and then tell all the others to be looking out for a strange animal. You never know. It might be dangerous. Stinking like that, it can't be good. Hawkpaw was drawing in more of the tainted air, trying to commit the scent to memory. Then he noticed another smell, something strange and bitter that made his nose wrinkle. Glancing at Ebonyclaw, he saw that she had her ears picked up and her nose struck in the air. What's that? Another animal? He asked. That's all the time we get for this time. Thank you for joining me in reading Hawkhearts' Journey. That was the prologue and part of chapter 1. I'll see you next time.